Hey guys, Jeremy, National Fire Radio. Today, special treat. We're working on the 2024 calendar project with Fire and Safety Services. And today I'm here with Henry Richard, the Chief of Department of the Harrison Fire Department. Chief, thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us. I want to welcome you and your viewers to Harrison and our department. I just want to say this is our third Pierce purchase. We purchased the Tiller 107-foot ascendant ladder, and then we went on to purchase our engine 2, and we moved on to engine 4. The town of Harrison is a diverse community, not only with its residents as well as the construction. So we took that into consideration when we started to build this apparatus. Some of the things that we took into consideration was the construction. We have all 5 phases of construction here. Some of the considerations were how we deploy our hose lines, like the donut deployment here in the front, as well as some of our pre-connected lines in the midship. We stayed with the pre-connected lines 2 3/4 for speed and mobility. With the construction that we have, we got to get in and knock these fires down rather quickly.
So Chief, took a tour around the city. We saw what you have here, the redevelopment that's happening. We know you run 3-man engine companies, so hose loads are super important. And obviously, you got to get that line in place, get water on that fire quickly to mitigate any fire growth. Understandably. We walked around the truck. I'm excited to do that with your guys that are here. It's going to be a great day. So thank you for having us in Harrison. Guys, stay tuned for our walk around of engine company number 4, Harrison, New Jersey. So the first stop on the tour, I'm here with firefighter Joe Schroeck of the Harrison Fire Department. Joe, thanks for joining me, man.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, so this is fun. So I get to hang out with the committee that built the apparatus, right? And so the cool thing about that is I get a different perspective from each guy that I talk to as we walk around the rig. So let's talk about the chassis real quick. It's a 2023 Pierce Enforcer, 60-inch chassis with a 10-inch raised roof. Detroit, 470 on the horsepower, and it's got an Allison transmission. Talk to me then a little bit about some of the considerations when you guys thought about the chassis.
Well, some of the considerations that went into it were we had previous engine 2, that was the shorter version. Guys talked about comfort, talked about the seating arrangement in the back and where to sit. So a lot that went into it was discussion from the firemen in the back on the floor that were riding in it constantly and what was going in and out and how they thought.
So career department, you guys are living on these apparatus. It's a 3-man engine company, right?
Yes.
So comfort's important.
Absolutely.
Being able to face forward, and I think that was one of the conversations we had earlier about the EMS compartment. You guys run first responder duties also for medical.
Yeah, we're full EMTs, so we run EMS calls in town, all ALS calls. I mean, everybody in the department's EMTs. The EMS compartment that we have in the back starts the process of that call.
I think what's really interesting, right, is that when guys build out and they think about compartmentation inside the cab, sometimes they get overzealous and they build some really big stuff in there, which then creates this like cave for the guys in the back, and it's not a comfortable riding assignment to ride in the rear when you're enclosed by all that cabinetry.
Yeah, for sure. Once it's a little bit more open, you have a little bit more vision. One of the big things was the discussion of the guy sitting in the back with the discussion with the officer as you go into the call. You have a clear line of communication, you can talk to each other, and now there's no ifs, ands, or buts when you get to the call. Now it's that clear line, and it's like, what'd you say? Hey, no, this is what I said. Okay,
Absolutely.
I got you, you know?
And that goes to that comfort in the riding position, for sure. All right, great. Why don't we take a walk down the apparatus and we'll get to the pump panel. All right, Joe, so here we are at the pump panel on engine 4. Let's talk about a couple of things here that are a little bit unique to you guys. Why don't we start with the main intake? I don't see any intake valve here.
Yeah, we primarily go off the passenger side or the officer side or the front. With the tightness of some streets that, we know we could be a little bit tighter on the driver's side rather than the officer side, and you don't have to worry about hose coming in and out.
And then not only that, because this is an urban setting, you got a lot of street parking, double parked cars. Water supply can get hampered if you're trying to come off the chauffeur's side all the time. So the curb side is much more feasible in your hookups. That makes a lot of sense. So with that then, no need for a trough.
No, not at all. So we have the trough on the other side. That houses our pony for our LDH.
Let's break it down a little bit further then. So now we're talking 750 gallons of water on board, and we're talking a 2-stage pump. A lot of people are starting to get away from that 2-stage pump, but you guys need it. Talk to me about that.
So we have a lot of new apartment buildings going in down the south end of town down by Red Bull, and they're 5-story by block long. So the 2-stage comes into handy when you're trying to pump the FTCs, and you need that long pump for the friction loss and things like that. That was something that was huge consideration into when they originally did engine 2. and it just continued on to with engine 4.
Yeah, and then people would say 750-gallon tank on an urban engine company, but for you guys it makes sense. Why?
So originally, you know, we were a single engine with a truck. So we had 3 guys, single engine, the most amount of water for the biggest punch to try to get fast water on the fire.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if the fire gets out of hand, we're in trouble. So
No, I get
you know,
that.
we're losing blocks.
Yeah.
You know, not just a room or 2.
You run lines off the rear,
Yep.
but I also know that you're pulling your cross lays too. So these are nice. They're shoulder height cross lays.
Yep.
You're running 200 feet, I believe, on
Yes.
both. And we're running 2-inch or 1.75 inch.
So both are 1.75 inch, both are 200 feet. One has a smoothbore, the other one has a combo nozzle. But the combo nozzle is a 185 at 50 PSI.
Okay.
So it's the same pump discharge pressure for both. So it keeps it simple for the pump operator.
Nice.
You know, we have a lot of turnover now.
Sure.
A lot of new people, so a
Sure.
lot of people learning how to drive, learning how to pump, so it keeps the numbers and things simple for them.
Well, and this is simple. I mean, when you look at this pump panel, it is well laid out. All the discharges are in order. I mean, all of it is just really well laid out. It's a simple, you know, mindset behind it. We're going to run around now to the other side. Let's talk about the other side pump panel. All right, Joe, so we're on the officer side of the engine. Let's talk about a couple things. One, I love seeing the comeback of the booster line. A lot of departments are starting to put booster lines back on the truck. I know it's not a structural line. You guys don't use it for structural firefighting. Why the need for the booster line?
So 200 feet, 1-inch hose. It's great for the trash fires, the rubbish fires, the garbage cans. You get on the boulevard all the time, garbage cans burning, so you pull up, just pull that off, boom, a little nice and easy without having to go crazy with the water can.
I know you guys get a lot of like the brush and rubbish fires along the interstates too.
Yep, get a lot of brush fires over there, so it's good for that. It's quick off, quick up.
Well, that's it. It gets you back in service quick.
It's very, very good for the safety on the highway rather than stretching lines all over the place and being on that highway because people don't care. They're just, you know, all over the place.
And then the way it's mounted is unique too. And this is something that Fire and Safety does very well. Tucker down at Fire and Safety.
Yeah, Tucker's phenomenal with just the things. When you go there, it's an easy conversation to have with him that, you know, he's got ideas in and out and you're like, oh yeah, no, we like that. So it's a great thing for a decon shower, you know, to hose off after a fire. You know, the cancer prevention is huge nowadays, so that's a big part of it.
Yeah, I mean, a line literally stays there. It stays mounted. All we do is open the bail, and now you have a shower right here in the street to clean you guys off before they get back in the rigs and head back to the firehouse. Well, brother, thank you very much for your time spending with me today talking about Engine 4. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for opening your doors to us. Guys, a lot more to come from Engine 4 in Harrison, New Jersey. All right, so here I am with Captain Steve Spera. So I know you were a big part of the truck committee, and I know that compartmentation and overall design was really important to you. This is basically our engineer's cabinet. So talk to me a little bit about the upfitting, some considerations, some things you did here.
Sure, one of the biggest things we wanted to get with compartment design these compartments is having a place for everything, right? No one wants that shelf that has just a pile of junk on it, right? They're just like, oh, I should do this compartment, just throw it on. Then you have to sort through to find out what do you want to get. So we were able to do with this one, have it all nice and laid out, whatever you need. It's all pretty simple, pretty standard. So you don't have to go searching or hunting for anything like that. We got our mutual aid bags down here. So we have all different things for all different towns we go to, all throughout the county. Our foam system here, we don't have tons of foam. So, you know, if you don't have tons of, you have a few barrels that live like that, this is a good little delivery system. We got something like that.
Something that really stands out to me, and we were talking about it before, is the rescue style compartments.
This is actually considered a rescue body on this truck, which is, it looks pretty much like your standard engine. These compartments on this side of the truck are all 4 inches deeper than the other side. The other side's pretty standard, but these are a little deeper. That depth is nice. Get a few more things in here. You can fit more stuff in a compartment, which is always good because everyone always needs more tools, right?
But I do love the fact, being a career urban department, you're running 2 engines in a truck, and you have a tiller behind the red doors over here. And so the tiller's got all your truck equipment. They're running the truck calls. So you have a scaled down engine where you didn't need to put everything on an engine company, right?
No.
We'll see on the other side, there are some tools for auto responses up on the interstate and things like that, but it's pretty scaled down. It's a basic engine company.
It is a basic engine company. We kind of laid this one out like a squad, but we had, from our sister engine we had made that real basic. That was real basic, real generic, and we kind of wanted a little more. We knew we were growing, right? We're getting our manpower up, we're getting our engine companies back, which is all fantastic stuff, and we just wanted a little more on.
3-man engine company, so driver, he might be putting a pack on.
Driver puts a pack on, so we got everything hidden around here, right? Everything's a place for everything, right? Driver's pack, where it just saves space in the cab. one of the biggest things, if we could have our manpower, the driver comes out, his pack would just be sitting inside here.
Swing out tool boards, pretty standard.
Basic hand tools. So everyone has their irons, their pike poles, their lights, everything they have they need is already in the cab to get out. This is all just pretty much extra. If you need shovels, if you need speedy drive, whatever like that, the axes, the tools you don't always carry right off the bat. Not your every call tools. Extinguishers. That's all your basic extinguishers. The batteries are big now. We got a little battery blanket in there.
I mean, EV fires are happening everywhere, right? Lithium ion is happening everywhere. And so it's a real situation. And here, with a growing community that you guys have, I mean, you're seeing a lot of this starting to show its face.
Right there. The population boosts around here, and you see people all the time zipping around in these scooters, these motorized bikes. They're all over the place. Next thing, we got some speedy dry next to that. Just some generators, blowhard fan, basic stuff.
We're going to work our way around the back of the engine. We'll talk about hose loads, and we'll go from there. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Okay, so I'm in the rear with Captain Spera. Cap, talk to me about the considerations you guys have. When you were building this, obviously we're building it around how you operate.
Being short manpower, one of our priorities is getting that first line quick, right? Getting that first line as quick as possible and getting that fire knocked down, because this is a smaller town and we do get there fast. The Crossley, the 200, here's where we start at different lines. 300 feet inch 3/4, right? All pre-piped, everything's out to here. We wanted to keep these on the outside so we could not, save a line. Save a length the most. You lose however much you go from the back of the bed. 300 feet there, this is only 200 feet or 2 inch. When we went to 2 inch, instead of the old 2.5, a lot of people had 2.5, 2.5. Well, again, low manpower. How many people does it take to hold that thing? That thing's a pain in the butt. And you can still get decent same amount of water. Not exactly the same, but you can get some good water to that. So if we need a big water, that's our bigger water line. We have more 2.5 up here if we need it. We have it up here dead loaded with a nozzle on it. You can just take what you need, break it, and stick it right to our port right next to it. So our hydrants are only like 300 feet apart. So we don't have that, and we don't have to carry tons of hose. Places have thousands of feet of hose. We got 600.
It's still a low hose bed for a 750-gallon tank.
Absolutely, yes. It's a big tank, so it takes up a lot of that space.
Right. Hydrants 300 feet apart, running double the amount, 600 feet. It just makes sense. It's common sense.
It's pretty simple. Yeah. No one likes packet five, let's be honest, right?
That's very true.
See, we got some setback buildings. We got some buildings, some condos where they face the river, so we have to go all the way around the building to get to them sometimes. So we got a 500 feet of this one. We got 300 feet of 2.5 on this one to a gated Y, and we have our 200 feet of inch 3/4. So this is what that is. So we had that gated Y, so if we need to, we can grab a high-rise pack, we can hook that up to it, and then we can get a second line up that if we need to in that back side. That's the setting for this.
Makes sense. And now we're with a rescue-style body, so we have our ladders through the body.
Yeah, ladders through the body. We like these on the outside so we have more compartment space. So we got a 24-footer, we got a 14-foot roof ladder, 14-footer, 2 pike poles, our backboard, standard stuff. Your attic ladder, standard ladders for the engine.
And then lastly, compartmentation, obviously cones, and then our pony lines.
We have 2 pony lines. This is our second pony line, right? You figure if we're taking off the back, we do a lot of hand stretching here. So if you come off and you realize that you're just a little bit short, right? Pony lines. Cones, flares, right? Highway safety is a big thing. And just a few extra hand lines just in case. You never know why, right?
I mean, when you break it down, it is just an engine company built for work, which represents exactly what you're doing here in Harrison. So thank you for that. Let's work our way around the officer side.
Sure thing.
All right, guys, so here we are. We're on the officer's side in the rear. I'm still with Captain Spera from the Harrison Fire Department. Talk to me about what the compartmentation, what we're doing here.
Utilities, right? We got pretty much our tool bags here, your small little giant ladder to get the Knox boxes, anything small inside you need, simple stuff. Our hydrant rams in here, blitz gun, extension cords. We got our giant adapter in the back in case we need a portable hydrant.
The ladders are enclosed, and so we don't have any ledges or anything, so we're putting our bundles inside. So talk to me about considerations here.
These compartments aren't quite as deep. So the other side was about 4 inches deeper being a rescue. These are pretty standard, but they're big enough to get our bundles in here. We got our high-rise packs in here. We got 3 75-footers, and they have the 2.5-inch couplings on them. That's pretty much county standard on this. So we all pretty much rolled the same with that.
It's nice to have them enclosed, up out of the elements.
Up out of the way. Yeah, these people sitting outside sometimes they can get messy.
Absolutely.
And here we got our hydraulic tools. Any vehicle incidents, any car accidents, any car fires, and like that. This has to be able to handle all that.
More technology, right? So for door pops, simple cutting, things like that, right? And then the saw is what for car fire, forcible entry, things like that.
Even in job intent. town where you need to open up some locks, right? You got Bilco doors, you got lock gates, whoever, nothing. We still got one of these. The ladder has all that stuff also. They also have more hydraulic tools. They have our core hose hydraulic tools. Sure. Basic Milwaukee tools, regular standard stuff like that. We like them in the bag as opposed to being mounted, just because mounted, you take something, well, you need something else, you got to run back to the truck, right?
That's right.
So have them all in a big bag. This way you're there, you got everything.
You got your glass kit, your Sawzall, tools like that. I always like when departments build their apparatus for the job specific, right? Meaning that this is our auto compartment.
Pretty much, yeah.
Right?
If you're actually going on 280, just something like this, so you get accidents or whatever like that, this is where you're going to be going, right? You can either popping, you're cutting, whatever you need to do, it's all here.
Well, Cap, thank you very much for the tour of Engine 4. I appreciate it. Thank you. So we're wrapping up the tour of Engine 4. Thank you for having us. Walked around the truck with a couple of your guys from the committee. What a great tour. They really broke it down. And I have to tell you, we see a lot of apparatus, and Engine 4 really is built well for the first two that you guys run in. So thank you very much for opening your doors to us. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you for coming down. As you can see from the tour, I hope you enjoyed the tour. With our community, we needed to be versatile and efficient with our response, and I think we covered that with our committee. I also want to say with our apparatus, we do get the 5-year maintenance package with fire and safety. They've done a really good job scheduling and keeping up with the maintenance, and we're really happy. From the time we met with the salesman all the way through, it's been a good experience for us.
And I think that's where relationships really get strong, is when through the process, the manufacturer and the distributor is working on behalf of the customer. And I know that they do that very well. And that's why we're here today. This is the 2024 Fire and Safety Calendar project that they rolled out, and Engine 4 is featured in the calendar this year. And so this was the Behind the Build video series for that. So thank you, Chief. Thanks for having us here today. I greatly appreciate you. Check out a lot more of the content coming out of Harrison, New Jersey on the calendar shoot this year with Fire and Safety Services. And I'm Jeremy, National Fire Radio.